society says these people are deviants, like the offenders are the deviants and they need to be separated from the people who are functional. But obviously you disagree if you're mixing them together, and I'd like to get your opinion on why you did that, because that's interesting.
Yeah. Well, even though they've done something wrong, okay, it doesn't necessarily make them a bad person. Mm-hmm. And in my court, I'm only going to have control over them for a short period of time, maybe 3 months, maybe 6 months, maybe a year. And when that time's up, they're going to be doing what they've always done again. I mean, they're going to be back in the same neighborhood or in the same home or in the same school. So we can't just isolate them and think suddenly we can take care of their problems. The best way of finding out whether or not you're being successful on kids is to go ahead and have them do all the things they'd normally be doing to see whether or not they're going to change their behavior now in that setting, so that once they're finally off probation, for instance, you're pretty confident. Okay, the last year they've done well, even though they've been going to school, they've had the same friends, they know what the difference between right and wrong, and hopefully they'll continue it. That's really one of the great things about being at AIS here, mm-hmm. because it's more hands-on and gets me out of the office, gets me to be able to talk directly to the kids and the families. So yeah, it's very rewarding.
So judging by the answer you just gave me, you're pretty emotionally invested in these programs that you have created, right?
You have to be.
Yeah.
I mean, for them to be successful, you've got to be all on board. Mm-hmm. And with my job, I mean, you have to be emotional about everything that you do. I mean, your heart has to be in it. You have to be passionate. If you're not passionate about it, quite frankly, you're going to be, a terrible judge. I mean, you just are.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and I read you have some programs where you have offenders and non-offenders together, and I was just curious on why you think it'd be okay to mix the two.
We will almost do anything if it works.
Yeah. So what you're saying is it works. Yeah.
So, I mean, sometimes it needs a miracle, quite frankly, to get these kids and their families to be able to perform and become, valued members of our community. If it takes church, then let's push church. If it takes going to the boot camp, well, let's do the boot camp. If it takes counseling services, let's do that. I think you have to keep an open mind. I was once told that there's not a single program out there that's a cure-all for everybody. But pretty much every program out there can help some certain individuals. So you just can't be closed-minded. You can't always just use one program. You've got to do anything and everything possible. One of the things that most people don't realize is that we created the Guardianship Services program of Southwestern Indiana. Okay. Everyone always thinks about all the things that we do for kids. Okay. The Guardianship Services program actually is for the elderly and the disabled. Okay. And it's a not-for-profit, and we have tried to fill a gap that has been present in our community for years and years and years. And that gap is whenever an endangered adult needs somebody to step in to make some life-changing decisions, that we can do that on a temporary basis until we can find another family member or another agency that can do it long-term. So it's a wonderful program, and it's just started a couple of years ago, and we're extremely proud that we're also now helping the elderly and the disabled besides all the kids we're helping.
Okay. Do you have anything else?